This is Amy for Sports Centred. I'm delighted to be joined by Frank Smith. Frank, how are you doing?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. How was Russia?
Amazing, amazing. It was my first trip ever to Russia. It was a great atmosphere in there. Bivol just showing why he belongs in that pound for pound list. Special fighter, brilliant performance from him, and yeah, good trip. Now back to Sheffield, back to rainy Sheffield. I realise I haven't really packed for Sheffield because I've just come straight here.
Going back to Bivol, how good was it to see him back in the ring after over a year out? And obviously he had to go the full 10, but it was good to see him maybe get that ring rust off.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I think he put him down in the first round, just showed how sharp he still was. I don't think Eifert really came to fight. In truth, I think he threw like the lowest amount of punches in a world title challenge, which is not what we want to see. But Bivol's a special fighter, and it was always going to be a tough ask for Michael Eifert. And now it's about making those big fights, the fights everyone's talking about, whether that's the Beterbiev trilogy, whether that's Benavidez, etc. Obviously, he's got Callum Smith, the WBO mandatory as well. So let's see how the next few weeks play out. But yeah, he's excited, I think, and happy to be back in there after, 15 months out the ring.
Yeah. Before we talk about Sheffield, obviously next week we've got Bam, return of Bam. Are you heading out to America to watch him?
Yeah, heading out on Tuesday. Bam, special fighter. He's moving up in the division as well. Obviously coming up from. It's a shame we couldn't make that undisputed fight for him, but it's all about moving up. And look, the talk is all about that Inoue fight, but he's got to get through Vargas. Vargas is going to bring a proper fight on next Saturday in Phoenix. But the Inoue fight's the fight to make, and I actually believe it's very realistic.
And a week after that, or 2 weeks after that, got return of Boots as well. Exciting times, obviously, out in your American shows.
Yeah, for sure. Look, I think it's an unrivaled schedule, really. Boots is a special fighter, Zandazais. All credit to him at his age. I think he's 23 years old, taking on this kind of test. But I believe Boots is going to be a king of not just his division, but the sport as well in the US, and a global star. So a big fight at Barclays Centre is going to be sold out. Same night as England play Panama. So a big win for England, and then on to the boxing.
Obviously, this show in Sheffield, a couple of headline fights obviously getting cancelled. So how happy are you to keep obviously the show on? I know you'd never like to pull them.
Yeah, the key is always, look, when you look at the fighters here, it's about these fighters. It's all, look, we all know there's a level of fighters who make a lot of money in the sport, but then there's also the fighters up and coming and the opponents who work hard for these moments. So for us, it's always about keeping the show on. And I have to also give big credit to DAZN, because without a partner who's willing to back you in these moments, it wouldn't be possible. So huge credit to DAZN, and that was always key, was to make sure the show stays on for all these fighters. We've got 16 fighters on this card, and I'm glad we could keep it on.
Yeah, and obviously you've seen Dalton, he's back in the gym now, so how optimistic are you? Hopefully see him in a couple of months maybe back out?
Yeah, I think we're looking at October time for him, for that Puello fight. There's so much talk on the internet about things. He wanted to fight. He'd been in training camp. He wanted to fight, but he had to go and deal with his injuries. He's done that. He's going to, back him, recovering. And I think October time is when you'll see that fight all set against Puello.
And obviously Josh Padley is now headlining. It's an amazing story for him. Obviously, an electrician took that Shakur fight on 4 days' notice and now headlining in Sheffield. It's a tough fight in Akif Fiaz as well, isn't it, for him?
Yeah, it really set off a spark, that Shakur fight, for him. And from there, he never looked back.
Took a while.
He's in a great place because he took a risk, took a chance on himself, and not enough fighters are willing to do that. He took that chance. He went in there against Shakur Stevenson, one of the best in the sport as we see now, and knew then as well. And look at him now; he's headlining in Sheffield. Not the circumstances we thought it would be headlining, but he puts himself in a position. He came off the back of that great knockout win back in on the Dave Allen, Dave Allen card back in October. Great win there, and now it's about continuing to progress through the ranks and get him a world title shot again.
Yeah, and like I said, considering the cancellations, it's still a really good card. You've obviously got Ibrahim Spider Suleiman out as well. Leo Atang looking. Try and say bounce back, but obviously you've got the points win anyway. Adam Akra as well. It's a really good, exciting card.
It's brilliant. Look, the big man Leo Atang's here, feet still on the ground. We're just trying to keep him as humble as we can. When you're as good looking as him and you can knock people out, it's trouble. I wish I looked like him. But yeah, he's in a great place. Great card, as you say there. Adam Akra as well just walked in over there. It's a great card, great young talent, and excited for the night ahead.
No, thank you so much for your time, Frank.
No worries.
Thank you.